Yo, yo, everybody, what's up? So, well, excited about tonight's show. We got a Zerg panel tonight, so it's going to be a really good time. I get back to my Zerg roots, and it's been a while since we've had a Zerg panel tonight, so it should be really fun, and I'm really jazzed tonight. Something about doing Zerg shows, I guess. I don't know. But let's get this puppy started. Okay, welcome to episode 18 of ChanmanV's Pro Corner, where we have pro gamers come and show us how it's done. Ooh, I kind of hear an echo here. Sorry about that. I hear an echo. Oh, it's my stream running in the background. Tonight we have a Zerg panel, like I said, and our guest tonight will be EG.LZGamer, Complexity's Col.Goswser, and 4KGerbil. And what we're going to do for you folks that haven't seen a panel show of ours is we're going to have the three of them bring 2 replays each, and we're going to, hopefully there'll be a mix of all the matchups. And what we'll do is we'll have them kind of analyze each other's replays and hopefully, get them collaborating and exchanging some ideas and helping each other's play out, as well as, teaching you guys some strategies. So it's really the focus and the goal of these types of shows, and hopefully, you guys enjoy it. These 3 guys, if you don't know them, I think a lot of people know EG.LZGamer from Brood Wars, and obviously his play in a lot of tournaments, and his NASL casting. He's a great caster. So he was on King of the Hill the other like last week, and definitely know when a pro is on casting. It's very obvious. As for Col.Goswser, obviously a really great up-and-coming Zerg that had actually a great showing at LMG Orlando. If you guys don't remember, he actually made the championship bracket in Orlando. And 4KGerbil, another guy. Actually, I've actually had my eye on since I used to watch Mr. Bitters 12 weeks, and I remember having Gerbil on and his unique play actually stood out to me like immediately. So this guy's really great, another up-and-comer. So you got to keep an eye on this guy also in the upcoming year. So and at this time, let's get the 3 guys on so we can just start getting down to business. Let me switch them over here. Hopefully we won't catch them in mid-conversation like what I normally do.
I can fungal sentries, which is really good.
That is good.
All right, guys. There I go again, catching you guys in mid-conversation. But you guys are on the show. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, great. I'm just looking at the cameras. I got you all messed up. Hold on, let me fix it real quick. But actually, while I do this, why don't you guys let us know what you guys have been up to, or what you have coming up in the near future? Why don't we start with EG.LZGamer?
All right. I have been up to nothing except Starcraft 2 in preparation for the MLG North American qualifier, which I got invited to, along with Mike here, of course, as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to as of late. Just been practicing, training, been streaming a lot. Of course, I still always do coaching and stuff like that, but yeah, practicing is where it's at.
Yeah, I think I catch your stream every night since you're like the only person that streams like into the late night, and I'm a night owl. So
there you go.
All right, Mike, what you been up to? Complexity Col.Goswser. It's Col.Goswser, guys, right? Not Gowser, like a lot of people try. Everybody always calls you Gowser. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, I've just been pretty much playing just to practice and get ready for the winter qualifiers like LZ. Besides that, I also did IPL Team League, because we actually can't use our Koreans much because they always have times that are like 5 a.m. for the Koreans.
Oh wow!
So like usually we only have a couple of like the lower Koreans, if any. So I actually got to play in that last week. Again, I beat Chef and then lost to Xenio, so I felt pretty good about that. Playhems, other stuff like that too. I don't know, not too much.
Great. How about you, Adam? Gerbil?
Yeah, good stuff. I'm not invited like these Ghosties to that tournament, but I'm still practicing, just working my way up the ladder as always, and excited for the live circuit, MLG 2012. Gonna hopefully attend those and do my best, so yeah.
All right, well, why don't we just get down to business and let's start up Starcraft, and we will start looking at some of these replays. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to have, obviously, one of these guys start with one of their replays, and we'll have that person kind of start off narrating a little bit of the replay just so we have an idea as to how, the game's going, what kind of strategy you're going to be doing in this replay. And then from then on out, I'm just going to kind of leave it, as kind of an open kind of analysis thing. Did anybody, whoever has a comment, just kind of, just jump in and jump in and let us know your comments. And if you think that it's kind of a long point that you're trying to make, just just let us know you want to pause the game, and we'll just discuss it. So, and I think we wanted to start with LZ, right?
Right.
VP/game.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll load it up, and we'll go to 2 minutes. That's probably nothing happens in 2 minutes, right?
Well, I mean my 4 pull, but I mean.
Oh, if you're doing okay, if you're doing a 4 pull, then we gotta.
Well, yeah, I'm killing off 2 of my drones in the beginning to make it more humiliating later on.
Exactly right. Your screen.
Right, so we're pausing it at 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second. Your screen was screwed up. My SC2 view too. Actually, 8 pulling and 6 pulling aren't that uncommon, I guess. Or 8 pulling at least. I've been seeing a lot more people 8 and 10 pulling in.
7 pull is pretty common, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, let me get this. Let me get it loaded now.
I'm actually kind of a fan of 7 pull ZVP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When do you get your natural on that build?
Like this game or like in general?
In general, when you're doing a 7 pull.
I don't know. Usually it's like 21 or something.
Okay.
Imagine.
Depends on what happens with the lings, right?
Yeah, it depends what happens with the lings. But I mean, after the initial 6 lings, I usually don't make any more lings.
Right.
Unless I scout that they're trying to go 1 gate expand after having being delayed so long, and then I'm just making lings and win.
Yeah.
You should be surprised how many people try that.
Really? Gosh, that's crazy.
I know. They're like, I'll just get 1 gas, 1 gateway, a zealot, and a sentry. He'll let me expand.
Right.
No, that ain't happening.
You figure the opposite. The 4 gate, 5 gate is like the
right.
The more logical response.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at 2 minutes.
All right, I'm at 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
Why don't we do? Wow, it's 16. It's kind of a shorter game. So let's just do 2x. And we'll,
2x.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Yeah, and why don't you kind of start off by narrating kind of what build you're going with?
All right. So going fast expand hatch first.
Okay.
I noticed that my opponent scouted me last, of course, due to the ridiculously delayed scout. Usually if he scouts you first or second, the probe is there in no time. I see that he actually made his pylon really far up. There's 2 ways of walling on this map that I find. I mean, people on Team Liquid even made a thread about the new wall, and this was supposedly the new wall or something.
Right,
and,
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so this is actually terrible. I don't know why anybody would ever wall way out here. I don't like it. Because
no kidding. The cannon doesn't even cover anything.
The cannon doesn't do anything, yeah. So it's like he has to give one, sacrifice something, whether it's going to be, a gateway or kill this hatchery down here. So he decides just to play more of a 1 base opening. So he's, just going to make his gateway, a cybernetics core, I'm sure. I already have an expansion though up, of course, but I make a queen right off the bat. And the reason for that is that if you get a creep tumor down, then he is never taking that expansion. So I'm making Zerglings to also defend this. So he makes a cannon, of course, that's starting to hit my hatchery.
Right.
I don't really care. I'm just more so bringing Zerglings just to kind of defend this creep tumor. I didn't really want to do anything other than that.
Right, I see. Yeah, so no need to even harass any of the probes or anything. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even really have to kill probes or anything. It's more so, that was the whole objective at this point. I have really no idea what I'm doing at this point. It's more of a very experimental thing. I'm just kind of like, well that was good. Now what do I do?
That was
so
real
I'm
good.
Building queens.
Actually.
Yeah. It's freaking amazing, because he doesn't have any way of responding to it.
He can't even put another cannon down to kill the tumors.
Yeah,
that's so
and
bad.
He's going Stargate, so that's also not really too good for him. It's not going to help him killing this creep tumor.
Yeah.
So yeah, just making. I'm not even worried about gas here. We're just making lots of minerals. We're going to build lots of extra queens to defend any kind of. Queen, in my opinion, is the anti-cheese unit for Zerg.
Right.
It pretty much can kill anything that Protoss throws your way, or help against anything at least.
So is the third that necessary right now? I mean, given that he's going to be on one base for a long time.
Well, I mean, it might not be necessary, but I feel like you could hold it no matter what they threw at this point.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the worst that could come would be like a 4-gate, and it would be a really delayed 4-gate.
Right.
Just from the opening, you know, having to make 2 cannons that quick and everything like that.
I see. Cool.
So, yep, we fend off the Void Ray, no problems, and you know, we start adding all our gases, start working on our tech, and I'm a big fan of like mass queens in ZVP. It actually has been one of my more successful build order type plays where if they do any kind of air, I can play Roach Queen or something like that and control the map and try to have a good creep spread and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah, but he's doing the 1-1-1 build.
Yeah, that's scary. Like, it's ridiculously scary. So he must be really mad right now because he's like long distance mining, and I don't know. I felt like I should tell him, like, hey, you don't have a nexus there. You know?
Oh man, it's like 6 minutes, 7 minutes late. It's sad in my mind. It's gonna be 200 to 100 supply in a second here. I can already see it.
Yes.
One question is like, because you saw he was really late in trying to attack your hatchery, like you noticed his first cannon wasn't in range of it.
Right.
Could you potentially just throw down your gas, roach horn, and just try and end the game with roaches?
Yeah, I think you could, to be honest. I think it'd been very easy just to, you know, instead of creep tumor, you just throw down like an inject.
Yeah.
And get like 6 roaches or something.
Yeah, that sounds like what cats would probably do there. Crazy like that.
So I definitely think that is a perfectly viable option to this.
You can even sometimes, if you like left a hole in the wall, you can just make slow lings from your main, and then
just like
when the birdlings pop, just kill his cannons and win too. Sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't learned the timings of that. I've seen that before, but I don't know like any of the timings to make sure my lings get there at the same time as like, you know.
I know it works out perfectly on Shakur's, but does it work out well in this map too? Like the timing of it? It's literally you just send the lings and they show up right when the Evo dies. It's so beautiful.
And I love queens because transfusing queens versus like void rays and stuff, or mutas versus void rays is so easy because they don't never change target, right? So you're really only transfusing the same muta like 30 times.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
So.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward game here. After the beginning. Yeah.
After the beginning, but it's at least something different, something you definitely don't see every game. Protoss actually complaining about the same thing that they do to you every game, which is block your expansion, right? So.
So do you guys throw down that? I mean, well, what do you two guys think about throwing the hatch down?
Personally, I like to go for the hatch and then just immediately cancel and go for the evolution chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more conservative, and I mean, if you're going for the macro game anyways, obviously they both have their benefits, and the creep tumor is like infinitely more annoying.
Yes,
but,
definitely. I mean, with that kind of opening, it's like an auto win pretty much.
Yeah. In this situation, I think the hatch is the best choice because you got the creep tumor down and everything.
Right.
But to be fair, I think if Protoss like really knew that was a threat, he could just chase the creep tumor with a zealot and some probes, and I don't know if it would have gotten up 100%.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
I had enough Zerglings. I think I could have just like literally surrounded it, like just right-clicked and surrounded it while it's building, and just hold position.
Maybe it takes like 15 seconds. I think. I don't know. It would be.
It'd be close. Because I had like 6 lings by the time I started it, so.
You might have been able to take out the zealot too. So.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest advantages of like letting the hatch finish is you can get the lings out and scout the main and see everything he's doing too.
That's true.
So you know if he's going Stargate or you know what his follow-up is usually.
Right.
Yeah, I had lings in his base and I didn't even check to see if there was a Stargate. So my complaint is I'm just bad.
Well, like you said, it was like you didn't. It's like probably the first time you actually had this exact scenario happen. So.
It was.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. So that was a good replay to start with. Definitely an interesting game. So, all right, let's load up the next one. Who's next? Who wants to be next?
You can do mine, I guess.
Okay.
No complaints. You guys want to do against Hawk on Shattered Temple, if you see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do that one.
Let's see, depending on how long it is, maybe we'll run it at 1 speed because we seriously will burn through these replays if we go that kind of pace. Okay, let's get to 2 minutes again.
All right.
Unless there's a 10 pull or something here.
No.
Okay.
At least I don't think so.
Okay, so talk to me about this map a little bit before, I guess getting completely into the replay.
Okay. So ZVZ. I don't know. It's like my worst matchup right now by quite a bit, just because I feel like it's so dynamic. So many things happen. Like the kind of decision tree of things that could happen is like so wide and deep, and it's just so hard to map out. Like by 10 minutes in any other matchup, you can say, oh, it's one of like maybe 8 things that's going to happen, but in ZVZ, it's like one of 600 things.
Right.
Which just that's not where I thrive, so that's why I struggle.
I see.
I don't know.
Okay, so right off the bat, I see you're building gas, and I think that normally what you see is like both guys end up going hatch first, just because they you can obviously see what each other are doing with the Overlord.
Yeah.
But tell me about that.
This was
Go ahead.
just so in Brood War it was kind of like hatch first against pool first was very it was a big advantage for hatch first because the 2 drones that you would get extra wouldn't be compensated in any other way, namely queens in this game, where it's like you have a faster queen. There's some economic advantage, but I feel like it actually is less than kind of the coin flip, in that if I'm all-inning with lings, he has to defend, and then if he defends the all-in and I don't build any lings, I actually end up ahead economically. So it's like the inherent advantage he has in the build order is less than kind of the decisions that we make directly after that.
I see.
I don't know if you follow this kind of.
No, I get it. That's cool. A little more flexible. Yeah.
So, and then after all that, I was also just kind of practicing 14-14 and the transitions off of it. So I decided, since it doesn't really matter that much, I might as well just do it.
Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Why don't we get this replay started?
Okay. Times what?
Let's just go faster.
Faster?
Yeah, we'll just walk through this one. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. So yeah, 14-14 against hatch first. I don't know, do you 2 guys agree with what I said, or disagree, or anything? Comments?
One thing I've actually been going 15 pool, 14 gas lately. I don't know if you've tried that. It actually gives you ling speed like 5 or 10 seconds after 14-14, but it gives you a better economy, and you can put a hatch on the 16, like way before you could normally get it. I don't know.
On 16?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if anyone's messed with that. I've been doing it a ton lately, and I think it's pretty good. But
is it before Overlord?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I usually go 15 pool, 14 gas, and then get a hatch on 16.
Yeah.
And then everything is only a bit delayed from 14-14. But I think 14-14 is fine, even in these spots.
I don't know. I mean, I see that it's not this terrible, but I still feel like you are behind. I feel like hatch first is definitely better if you can do it safely. The problem is, like, if you're cross map, you don't know if it's going to be safe or not. You could die to a 7 pull, whatever.
Right.
But on these positions, it could be safe every time, just because you see what your opponent's doing, so you can play very reactionary. So I don't know. Like, I've never really tried 14-14 in these, in close positions like this, because I feel like I would just be at a disadvantage no matter what. Unless you did like some amazing harass with the Zerglings or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Yeah. So,
that's the point of discussion. That's the point of the show, is to kind of discuss these kind of differences.
I'll show you all.
I'll show you. I'll make this work.
no, I have no idea. But actually, question for Goswser or Mike, like, when you do your 14-14 with a relatively faster hatch, do you also go for a faster second queen in that build?
Yeah.
Or?
I do a second queen as soon as the first queen's done.
Okay.
And I pull off gas at 100 just to get the speed. And then I'll put it back on so I can have banelings. Like, if he does 15 hatch, then I can have banelings before he can get his ling speed done.
Right.
And then I can still be basically equal in drones.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then if it's like a 1 base baneling all in on the other side, then you have the 2 queens.
Yeah, then I just try to defend with 2 queens and mass speedling and just micro them and not lose any lings to banelings.
Oh.
Try to snipe them with 1 or 2. And then sometimes you can counterattack with all your lings if he commits too much and you've defended well.
Yeah.
I think 1-base baneling is the thing that it's worst against though.
Right, makes sense. Yeah, so explain to me this attack right here.
Okay, so I mean, I kind of feel like ZVZ is just about droning a bit more than your opponent, and then like not too much more. So I felt like my read was that I had a few more drones than him, so I could just make lanes and then drone behind it. Like it's also kind of all about faking all-ins and just droning behind them.
Oh, I see.
And then occasionally actually doing an all-in. I don't know, stuff like that.
Too bad you didn't get the spine. It had 11 hit points.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Nobody just thinks when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, in ZVZ, I feel like kind of the state of the game right now is whoever makes roaches first is at a pretty decent disadvantage, just in terms of like mobility and stuff, but it gives you a lot of safety, which really sucks because I would prefer to go roaches if I didn't end up economically behind almost every game. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Also, something that's really good in ZVZ is like when you have the superior ling number, like in this game, he might have had banelings first, but you had the ling number. And as you already had 2 queens on the ramp, you already had the spine up, and you had banelings morphing, it would have been better to send your zerglings around so this attack could never even have occurred, right? It's kind of like a pressure, or you could have counterattack or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because just, you know, like the reason you have more lings is to be able to apply pressure and not to be the one, you know, stuck at your natural, having no map control or anything. But it seems like it kind of worked anyways because you made 2 more spine crawlers. So, so you kind of got what you wanted out of it anyways.
Yeah.
The drone count's pretty even at this point. It's definitely an even game. Okay, you're going lair now. Cool.
Yeah,
he already has lair complete though.
Yeah.
His lair's way faster.
He's going for the mutas.
So what are you thinking here?
So, okay, not much to be honest because I'm really confused in this matchup. But like, so I understand that there is the possibility for muta, and if this is basically the fastest possible without cutting too much economy, I would say that Hawk is doing. Personally, I like going either slower mutas or just not mutas at all. I don't like doing the fast muta because I don't know. Too many times I've just ended up with a worse economy, and it's just.
So what tech are you going? Are you going Roach Infestor, or are you Rotator Infestor, or?
Don't know. We will see. It looks like I'm going muta though.
Okay.
Like just by the setup, right? Like I have layer, no other buildings.
Seems like it.
So I'm probably going muta, just slower than him.
This is actually like the part of ZVZ that I hate the most, because it's hard to tell what he's doing. Like Hawk isn't actually playing safely, I don't think. He has no idea if you were going for any kind of like roach timing, he would just die with only 3 spine crawlers.
Right.
Like, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell what he's doing. I'll see like that spine crawler count sometimes, and assume muta, and then like I'll go for a timing, and they're actually just going like mass roaches behind it. So.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the trickiest parts of the matchup at this point. So how many spines do you think you should make to kind of be safe from this? Like 5 or 6?
Yeah, I think you should go like 5. Probably, unless you know, like, unless you're positive he's not gonna go. Yeah.
If you have lings and banelings, 4's fine. Especially with you going such a fast fire, like it'll be fine because I imagine it would be.
Yeah, I think it's usually fine. I don't know, unless you know he's going for like some gigantic timing, I guess.
Yeah, but like with speedlings, you should have no problems continually scouting your opponent.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for not just sending 2 Zerglings. Even if they hit a Baneling, like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's perfectly fine. I trade 2 Zerglings for a Baneling all day.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good trade.
Especially if you're planning on, like, doing a muta versus muta battle, because one takes gas and one doesn't.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Slowly going to cut into that as well. You're going to have a lot of mutas at one time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's get that carapace going.
It's like 8.
Where's that at?
Building right now.
Yeah, the carapace. I don't know. So, just backtracking a bit, LZ, you recommend like periodically sending 2 Zerglings, right-clicking in the main, just to...
I would do it a lot, because I mean, if you continuously don't see roaches, you know, you could just run by, you could see, you know, gas times, you could see all kinds of stuff just from suiciding a couple of units. And lings are very disposable in ZVZ, especially if you're playing defensive banelings yourself.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, sounds good. Another thing I probably should have done is get the faster upgrade. I don't. I guess carapace is better if you're doing muta versus muta, and then our attack is better if you're doing against ground. Is that?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is absolutely correct. Muta versus muta, you always want armor because the bounce gets 3 deductions to where the attack one gets 1. In muta versus
you wanted
muta.
attack. Yeah.
No.
I guess I've been wrong the whole time.
No, I've heard armor too, so.
I'm on a show with newbies.
So when you got both guys going muta like this, is there like, is it one of these things where it's just like you just keep hammering each other with muta ling, or is it first person getting festers out to wins, or something like that? I mean, is there?
There's 2 ways of going about it, in my opinion. Like, I can let y'all answer this first if y'all want to answer this question.
No, go ahead.
Like, if you have the superior number or the upgrade advantage, you want to continually make muta, right? You'll just keep throwing muta at your opponent, and you'll try to hit timings like, okay, my +1 armor just finished. Okay, my +2 armor just finished. And those are your windows, quote unquote, to attack your opponent because you have something that he doesn't. If you're both doing the exact same thing, and even if you're on the exact same muta count, if your upgrade's faster, then you win that way.
Right.
The other way is if you're behind in mutas or anything like that, you just want to try to somehow sneak out infestors, just a couple. You only need like 2 or 3, and then in a muta engagement, and I usually use burrow to try to like trick it. So then if, you know, my mutas are wandering around the map and here he's like, oh, well, I have the superior number, and he comes to kill mine, you unburrow and then, you know, try to fungal all his mutas, and then the fight totally gets flipped.
Right.
Yeah.
So
The only thing I would add to that is, I think if you ever get to like a point where you have like a 4-base eco in ZVZ and you're going muta, then I think you can add infestors anyway. If you have like 4-base gas going,
You think
just
so?
You have so much gas.
Well, yeah, 4 base, but
But like
that doesn't
anything,
happen often for me.
Yeah, I know.
One
I'm
other
so
thing
confused by this game.
Oh, what? Why?
This Matt.
I just saw roaches pop out of the. I just saw roaches being
Yeah.
built. I'm like, wait, what are these gonna do?
Believe me, I was more confused when I was playing it. But, like, so at this point, I kind of surrendered the air battle because I mean he had mutas earlier, he had upgrades earlier, he had his 3rd base earlier, so kind of nothing I can do about that. I made a bunch of queens because I mean that's what I can do with minerals. And then I was under the so one thing that like you were saying, when you have a higher muta count, you can go for timings. What I've seen a lot is like, if you have like 5 extra mutas, then what people will do is they'll make like 20 banelings right in front of your base, and then just go bum rush you with like muta baneling, and like even if you have even muta counts, the banelings will just blow up on everything because you don't have anything to deal with them at the same time. So I found that like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make something happen at this point in this game. Like, Queen Roach Muta seems like the most stable army.
Right.
I was really like, just what should I do? These seem like the units that won't die faster.
Wow, this is a
Yeah,
crazy
it's pretty
looking
rough
battle.
at the end.
There you go. Wow.
That's a lot of mutas still. He still had 25 at the end, if not more than that.
That was a pretty bad game. Well, lost game for me.
Yeah.
So deciding to build the queens instead of just switching to, say, Hydra or something different, like, talk to me about that a little bit. Like,
Well, the only reason I built Queen is it's like a mineral dump mostly. So it wouldn't be Queens or Hydras. It would be Queens or Zerglings, and only one of those actually attacks air. So
yeah, true.
that's what I think.
Like, I think switching to Queen Infester would have been better than, you know, throwing in roaches there, because the roaches weren't really going to play any big role, and they also took some of your gas away from units that you needed to deal with those mutas. Like, the whole point was you had to find a way to kill the mutas, right? And queens aren't necessarily bad. Queens actually are pretty awesome, like versus Muta. Like, I don't know about when Mutas can one-shot them, because healing kind of gets negated when they can just kill them in one shot,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But, yeah. It
I
was,
don't know.
it was over when your tech was so far behind and he had complete map control. Like, if he was going to tech to that fast of Mutas, there was plenty of times where you could have punished him for it, you know? Or scouted what he was doing, or took a faster third. Because both of you had the same economy. He just put all his into the tech before any kind of army or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like in the game, you had a good sense that he was going to beat you to mutas, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see like what was your plan to I guess either counter that or I mean, were you planning on just outbuilding them? Like, did you think your economy was better so you could outbuild them a little bit later, or?
To be honest, I felt like so he was going to beat me to muta, but that didn't necessarily mean that he's ahead in the air war, because the air war is mostly about your gas timings, because it's about how many muta you're going to have out, not how fast.
Sure.
With the exception of the upgrades, which will only come into play a few minutes later. But so not necessarily that I was looking to win the air war, but I definitely feel like I probably should have just taken the third base much faster and been able to survive just with my excess queen count, because I was going up to like 6 queens. So probably should have used that for the faster third, and then probably gone in faster, as you said. Seems like a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's see. Why don't we do one of Mike's next?
Okay.
You're the ZVT guy tonight, right?
I think I have one ZVT and then one ZVP too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Why don't we do the ZVT one just to
Sure.
kind of do one of each. Do the first half, just one of each. Here we go. Let's see.
What in the world map am I loading up?
GTX. What is this? Yeah.
Wait, isn't it in Toon Valley?
Oh, it's
Oh,
in
it
tune.
is.
That's just a weird. Yeah.
Okay, it's just a different version.
It's a GSL version.
Oh, okay.
I had to like download content to upload a replay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's an update that I didn't know about. Okay, here we go. All right, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Same deal. And CVT, it's a little bit longer game, but I think it's probably good to walk through this one in faster. At least it gives us time to discuss stuff too, and let the replay run. Okay, so overall, what are your thoughts on ZVT, Mike? And what do you try to what's your strategy usually?
I like to go ultralist. Yeah. Ultra faster, Ling Banling.
It's a good strat. I mean,
I think I need to. It's partially map dependent. Like on some maps, if you can just like keep them from getting a 4th base, you never have to go anything besides ultra, Ling, and faster Banling. But on like maps like Shakaris and Metalopolis, I think you need to go Broodlords at some point in the game.
I see.
Or just know these. But on this map, I feel like you can keep him from taking a 4th. So you can just stay on Ultra Ling, Banling, and Fester and win with it. So.
Okay. Let's just start on faster. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm gonna 15 hatch because that's pretty much the standard in ZVT.
Right. And
I scouted on 13. You can see the drone getting to his base. 13 or 14 is usually the time you want to send out a scout. You can usually tell based on like his SCV count and whether or not you see a barracks or a gas, what opening he's doing. Since I saw only like 10 SCVs or something on minerals and no SCVs building, and no barracks too, I think it's a 2 racks. But I think I just said that in chat, but I didn't actually. I don't think I scouted them on the map, did I? No, I don't actually know where they are. So against 2 racks, you just need to you need to try to get a spine crawler up and not lose too many drones. And you want to kind of get enough lings. You want to save up so as soon as the pool finishes, you can get like 10 lings as quickly as you can. And then you want to pull like 5 drones and try to defend until you get the lings out. And then it basically depends on how many SCVs he's going to pull with the 2 racks for how to defend it.
Really, you think 5 drones is enough to pull?
That was going to ask that.
Well, like now, when he only has 1 Marine, you can send like 5 drones, and then after that, you need to keep adding them as he has more Marines.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It depends partially. Like he's doing this stupid positioning.
Oh god, that Nook. Yeah. Why do they make maps like this?
I actually don't think I pulled enough here. I pulled 4 drones and then I realized it wasn't going to work. But I have my lings out now. So I'm just going to try to kill the Marines if I can, and I managed to get a good surround.
Nice.
And I think that's the main reason I'm not going to die.
Yeah. I think that right there might have been the game winner.
Yeah, if I hadn't killed the 2 Marines, I think I would have probably lost, because this positioning is kind of difficult.
Pretty ridiculous,
Pretty
yeah.
rough, yeah.
What I've been doing lately is like putting a drone there, just like hold position, just for those few seconds, so you can't get the bunker.
I didn't actually even know about that positioning when I played this game, I don't think. But I defend this if you just pull both queens and have enough lings.
Right.
I think you usually clean it up. I lost a queen, just a bit sloppy, and I have a lot of lings, but I didn't die, which is most important.
Yeah, that's definitely the main goal of.
Yeah, we all try to stay alive.
And the one disadvantage of his proxy spots is that he's gonna have to lift those. So once you lift them, you know that there's not gonna be any like pressure coming for a bit. So if you proxy them, you want to try to defend, and then you want to find out like when he lifts the barracks. Because when he does that, you can just make lots of drones. If he has them in his main, then you always have to like, you know, he could be doing like some SCV pull all-in thing. But if he has the proxy barracks, you know he can't do that because he has to lift them off. I actually have way too many lings right now produced to that. And I don't think they'll be able to do anything.
That ever kind of caused you to make the Bane bust decision? Or just kind of going Banes, or no?
Sometimes. I usually don't, just because I don't like using Baneling bust. I think it's pretty risky, and if it fails, then you're going to be way behind.
Right.
And especially with him putting his barracks here, he could just be doing like a wall off with like 4 barracks. And you need like a lot more Banelings to bust that if he does it.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought as well. Then, like, the minute I saw, if I would have seen the barracks float all the way into the main, Baneling bust would have like went off. Like, okay, 3 depots, yeah, I can Baneling bust that. But with his racks landing there,
like I was
it would make it much more risky.
If he like threw down a couple more barracks next to that, then it'd be so difficult to actually Baneling bust.
Yeah.
And
how many Banelings does it actually take to kill a Rax?
I think it might be
number
13 or something like that. 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's 1,000 hit points, so it's like what, 85 or something? Or
every time I go to,
it's like 80 or something like that.
Yeah. Every time I go to Baneling bust a Rax or something, it's left with like 40 HP and they're getting repaired, and I'm like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah, I know the feeling too.
Like, well, and that's what I get for trying to cheese.
Yeah. So at this point, based on like how many Marines I saw, I thought I would just take a third and get a Baneling Nest to be extra safe against any timings. And I probably didn't need the Baneling Nest if I saw he had another command center. But I just got it to be safe, and because I knew I was ahead, I thought. So I usually go to like 52 drones, and then I get all 4 gases going.
Right.
And then I can go layer and then double evo, and I get like link speed a lot sooner. I already have it out now, and then I just like to go double evo and infestors when I can.
Okay, so you went single evo here.
I think I should add another one. I think it's coming up. It's a bit late, but
okay, great. So just basically hold those tank pushes with pure ling.
Yeah, you can. I have a Baneling Nest now, but you can usually hold the tank pushes fine with just lings. And then the infestors usually come out in time for any like larger tank pushes that you can't hold. The thing like Demuslin's been doing lately is kind of difficult to hold with only pure lings, but other than that, I usually don't have a problem.
What's he been doing?
He does this like stim combat shield, 6 Hellion, like 24 Marine push that's really fast.
Right.
And with pure lings, that's almost impossible. I think it even has +1 too.
Yeah, it has +1.
That's pretty nasty.
It's really difficult to hold off because I don't have any upgrades done except for link speed. So, like, I've had to sack my 3rd base a lot of the time to actually stop that. And I actually built a Spore Crawler just because I didn't know if he was doing 2-port Banshee or anything stupid.
One thing I noticed is you don't get a creep spread queen. Can you comment on that?
I usually just try to make my 3rd queen like early enough so I can lay down a couple creep tumors before I send it to my third base, and then try to get a couple creep tumors going and spread my creep just with that queen. I should probably add another queen somewhere because I think it's beneficial, but I don't know. I'm just lazy, I guess. It's easier to creep spread with only 2 tumors.
That's true. Yeah, I actually do the same thing too. I usually either I go to 4 queens like right off the bat, or I just stay on 3 until I have a much later stance of the game.
So I noticed you took your third before macro hatching. I know a lot of people macro hatch before taking the third.
Yeah, I actually always macro hatch before the third against like any standard play, but since he did a 2-Rex and it failed, I thought it'd be safe getting the third base quicker.
Okay.
Just because it was like the 2-Rexes were built outside and you had to lift them and all that. Usually though, I get a macro hatch sooner.
This map is also one of the easier maps to hold a quick third.
Yeah, especially since I killed the rocks, so.
Right.
Yeah, so this push that he's doing now.
Oh, he gets caught here.
Yeah, I already have banding speed, so it's not too big of a deal, especially since he doesn't have stim. And then even though I didn't kill all the Hellions, I have Whirlings coming out.
Right. Your Festers will be out too.
Yeah.
That was still a pretty good trade for him though. Like,
yeah.
That was a lot of Zerg units that it took to kill those few Hellions and Marines.
That's true. Decent number of bands there, yeah.
Yep.
But I think the most important thing is just not losing any drones. As long as you keep your economy intact, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And I should be starting my hive in another minute. Yeah, I just started actually. And I start that like a tiny bit after I get 2-2 on the way, so I can get all my upgrades as soon as my hive is done. And I go pretty fast ultras, quicker than most people.
So how many infestors do you kind of get, like a base infestor count before you start, going to ultra?
I like to get about 6 infestors usually.
Okay.
If you don't miss any fungals, then I think 6 is good. And sometimes they'll go to like 8 or 9, but I think you need at least like 6 to be safe against a lot of pushes. Otherwise, if you like lose 1 or miss a fungal or 2, you're just gonna die.
Right.
But if you get like 6 out, you can build a lot of drones and like saturate your 4th base even, because you can usually shut down pushes just with 6 infestors and slow them down while you build speed links.
Yeah, I feel like that too. Like once you get the infestors out, then you can start, double expanding, making mass drones.
Yeah.
I do have one question on your play. Why, if you are playing infestors, that means that drops will be more effective versus you than if you played mutas, right?
Yeah.
It's harder to shut them down because you have to rely on energy to fungal infested Terrans, etc. Why do we not see any spine crawlers that base at like your main, natural, third, etc. for like drops defense?
I don't like using spine crawlers or static defense anytime until you're like maxed with ultras, just because it slows down the time it takes to max. And I think at this point you should be able to defend against drop spine with just your units. I think I should add static defense in late game, like once I have like 4 bases and I'm maxed and I'm moving around the map. But like I'm just sitting around now, and I like to defend now with just like lings and banelings. I have a group of them at my 4th, and I don't have any in my main yet, but I think I'll put some there eventually.
Right.
And then usually like if you have a couple banelings and like 10 or 12 lings, you can hold off a medevac drop decently with that, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I think static defense are great in late game though.
Y'all ever build spores instead of spines?
I think spores are actually pretty underrated.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I think they're underrated
Yeah,
too.
because they're more inclined to take out the spore than a spine with the medevac healing.
Yeah.
Right. So, because the medevac's almost like a timer for them.
I think spores actually might be better in some maps against drop than spine crawlers.
Yeah.
Just because even if you have spines, they'll just drop on the other side of the mineral line.
Yeah, and it doesn't kill the marine a lot of times with a full medevac. So
Yeah.
It's a full energied medevac, I mean. But,
So now I'm just finishing my max with my Ultra Ling Infestor Banling, and I'm getting all the upgrades I need.
yeah, you're definitely.
Yeah, those
ahead
upgrades
here.
are gonna crush them.
Exactly. He's gonna have 5-3.
Yeah, like I don't know. Some Terrans don't even upgrade like at all, and I've had games where I hit like 3-3 and they're at like 1-1, and then it's just game over as soon as you attack. I think he's gonna probably have 2-1 when I have max upgrades. But that's still not ideal.
Yeah, it feels like you've been ahead pretty much the entire game.
Shouldn't you have waited here for the ultra armor?
Yeah, I think that would have been a good idea. I think I don't know. I think I just wanted to take the tower back, and I got a bit impatient. I didn't really need to attack there. But it's still working out pretty well, because I'm up.
Still traded.
Yeah, and I'm up like 80 supply after that.
Yeah.
Whenever you hit late game as Zerg and you go like this composition, you can usually remax every time you attack.
Right.
And then you're going to be way ahead in supply.
Yeah. So he's taking his 4th though, and you were talking about before how like one of your main priorities is to stop that.
Yeah.
Do you ever do stuff like infestor harass or like counterattacks to the 4th while you're doing your main army stuff?
I'm gonna go kill the 4th now. I think I usually don't do too much infestor harass just because I think it's costly. I think I should do it some, but I like doing it with like 1 infestor. If you use like 4 or 5 infestors and lose them, it's a big commitment. And I just don't use it with my style too much because I only build like 6 infestors, and I try not to build any more unless I lose the original ones. Just because then I just use all my gas and ultraling, baneling, and keep my 6 infestors alive as long as I can. And then I just want to keep attacking and trading as much as possible. On maps like this, where it's pretty open, you can just smash into them again and again, and it's really difficult for them to actually hold the 4th. If it's like Shakura, they can just turtle and sit on like 4 base forever and you can't do anything. But
Right. Yeah, I really like the baneling throwing in with the ultra. I think baneling ultra is really strong.
Yeah. Like, I'm a bit sloppy here though. Like, I think you should just pull back after the original engagement.
Right.
Because like 1 or 2 ultras isn't even going to kill a marauder when it's being healed.
Yeah. You gotta kind of mass it.
And I got a Girder Spire, but I don't think I built anything besides ultraling and faster. So.
I mean, you only would if his marauder count got really high, right?
I do that then on this map, because as long as you can get good fungals down, you can kill any bio army.
Okay.
So question, when you first engaged with your ultras, Terran was kind of like in the middle, which was basically almost the worst possible position for him, like other than being on your creep. But like, let's say he was up his ramp near his natural 3rd and then creeping towards his 4th with tanks, would you still try and slam into him with your max army?
Then I would just try to take 16 banelings and just go in long enough to smash them into the 4th on like this map.
Yeah.
I think it would be a mistake to attack up into like an entrenched position by his like natural 3rd, because if you do that, you're just gonna lose most of your army. Like here, I'm just gonna go in, I think, and snipe the planetary and then back off. Yeah. Because if you just do this, then he can't actually get a 4th, and his economy is gonna keep falling behind.
Right. Yeah, the retention of the army there is huge.
And like, I don't even lose that many units doing that.
The one thing that is like looking positive for him is his upgrades are catching up. Like his 3 attack is about to finish, which you've had the upgrade advantage now for a long time. So it seems like fighting during that time would be like the most beneficial, right?
Yeah. I think fighting when you have an upgrade advantage is always good. If you see they have like 1-1, you can just kill them with the 1st army, and they're never going to hold it. Even when they have a lot of upgrades, I think engaging is usually the right decision unless they're sieged up in a good position. Because you can just remax, and if you don't like let your bank build up too high, then you can keep trading and keep tearing down. It takes him a lot longer to remake his units than it takes me. So.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And because it's so open on this map, like it would be super difficult for him to just like siege up and fortify his position and not lose an army if I attack. So I think you can just keep using this composition and attacking him again and again until he loses.
Well, alright, let me ask you this question. Is the fungals the necessary thing? Like, if let's say this army had no infestors, would you still be able to kill his army?
No, you'll lose every time.
Yeah.
So, what would happen if he just cloaked and EMP'd all your infestors?
I'd probably die.
Yeah, that's usually really bad. That's usually how that army dies, right?
Because you don't have any overseers with your army or any kind of detection.
Yeah, I should have an overseer with the army. Lately I've started doing one technique you can use to spread the infestors so they can't get EMP'd. If you just like select all of them and spam bungles in like different parts of the minimap, they'll like auto spread out. If you spam them in like all the corners, and then you can hold position after like 4 seconds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that is a neat trick.
Cool technique.
It's like a way you can quickly spread them in. Even the snipe, I'm gonna lose my army, but I kill most of his stuff, and I'm still maxed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter.
That's the good thing about this style, is that it's easy to max out. Now I have another question about this style. At the late stages of the game, I don't see where you would need 9,000 larvae with this style, because ultras take up so much supply, right?
Yeah. You always need to have enough for like Zerglings too, though. You need at least some lings, you know? I don't like to go
Couldn't you
pure
take some of your, couldn't you take some of your queens and use them as, like, healers? Because I know that is strong versus Terran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually used to do that all the time with like 4 or 5 queens and just send them along with my army and heal. I'm not actually sure why I stopped doing it. I think it was because I didn't have that good of army control back then, so I'd have like all my queens and infestors clumped up and they'd EMP the bunch like 12 times.
Right.
But I think I should start doing that more, because I think it's good.
How money, nice.
Yeah, I thought he'd be kind of like broke by now, and actually he is kind of broke. Looking at
He
his
is.
money.
Yeah.
He has ghosts, so I wouldn't leave the game either.
Yeah.
Them things go pew pew pew.
Yeah, but as long as you just keep attacking and keep his economy like below a certain point, you can usually win on open maps.
Right.
As long as you don't get all the infestors like EMP'd. If you do that, you're probably gonna die. I should have had an overseer.
So, question: do you ever use infested Terrans in your engagements?
Not
Probably
against
only
Terran.
for like medevacs, right?
Yeah. Just
Okay,
because
not
I want to
like-
like. I don't think they're that good against Terran.
I don't either.
Well, what about like I know Stefano
Yeah, Stefano.
uses like 5 infested Terrans
Oh,
just
yeah.
before he engages.
Yeah, he
to-
throws
to
those volleyballs
take
out there.
the tank hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite good.
Okay.
If you can
But I
get
don't
that
think actually-
control down, that's it's
Well, it's
crazy
like-
good.
I think like infested Terrans are very situational. Like, for example, if he's pushing you, you could, you know, burrow infestors and lob infested Terrans near the tanks so the other tanks shoot the infested Terrans and the splash kills the tank, right?
Yeah, and
Like
that
those
works.
kind of things are good.
The only problem with that is like sometimes it won't even kill the tank and it'll just scan and kill your infestor. But I
Right.
think that could be good in some situations, like if he has a lot of tanks.
Or you have the high ground or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes like when Stefano's doing it, he times it so perfectly where he like his lings are running as that infested Terran lands on the ground. So like that tank volley never touches the lings when they get in there.
Yeah.
He just times it so perfectly.
I think that's quite good.
It's
for
sick.
engagement.
Yeah, pretty sick if you can get it down. Okay, well that was a great replay too. I think that was lots of points of discussion there. And now we're back to you, Jake. Let's. Okay, so alright, RSVP time. The same map. It's the same map. Alright.
Yeah. Oh wow, it is the same map.
Okay.
You're right.
Alright, we'll get. Oh, it was a much longer game. Okay.
It is. It's quite long.
So what do you guys think of Muta in CDP?
It's the only way I win.
I think it's quite good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I don't think it's like the only way of playing the matchup.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But I think it is one way that you can play the matchup. Because it forces a different style of Protoss. And, you know, people are complaining. Every Protoss is like, oh, mutas are cheating or whatever. But it's just a completely different style, you know. It's the same as, like, how long did Zergs die to just where Protoss didn't do anything but max to 200 in attack move because Zerg didn't know how to react to it, right? So the game just has to continue to evolve, and Protoss will figure out exactly the way to do it, which I've been telling them forever. You just turtle with high Templars and you're good as gold. But no one listens, so...
Exactly. Well, you mean against Muta, right?
Yeah, against mass Muta.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I'm at 2 minutes. Let's.
I am too.
Maybe we'll start. I don't know. Let's start at 2x actually.
Okay.
And we can change it back down to faster if need be. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So open 14 pool.
Yep.
Probably just going to go straight into expand. I don't really like doing like gas pool openings versus Protoss. I don't find they really do anything, especially if we're on a map that's like an expand map, right? Where like 99% of the time they're going to go forge opening or nexus opening or something of that nature.
Yeah. I only use this if I'm gonna like all in the Protoss and do like a baneling bust or something.
Yeah. Well, then it's too obvious. You just told the whole world your strategy, so now it's never going to work.
Exactly. So I mean,
Hey, do we-
how
It's like your MLG run is screwed.
so how hard is it for you guys to hold 4 or 5 gate with gas first builds? Or I mean, sorry, not non-gas build, not like this type of build, 14 pool.
I'm confused. 4
Like-
or 5 gates?
yeah,
You mean
like-
like a 4 gate?
Yeah, like a 4 gate on like Shattered, like a typical gas opening, kind of.
It's not hard at all. You just make a couple of spine crawlers. I mean, you'll have Zergling speed by the time a 4 gate hits
Right.
Yeah.
anything, so
Cool.
I don't really have any problems holding any kind of rush or anything. I find my economy is actually way better. So this game, of course, I'm going straight to 3 bases, using my Zerglings, looking around for a probe because I have no idea where he went.
That's
I do not like these positions because we're so close to each other. It's
right.
like Protoss could put a pylon in his main and literally warp right outside my third. So
Right.
I don't I can't even kill a proxy pylon if I wanted to because it's just not feasible.
Yeah, he can actually blink from his main to your third.
Are you serious? That's
Yeah,
dumb.
you can do that.
Oh my gosh, really?
Stupid. Yeah,
The obs blink.
yeah. You don't even need an observer though, because it's the same height.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Just blink straight over.
Sounds balanced.
Yeah.
Wait.
Are you serious? I've never seen it actually. Wow.
I haven't either, surprisingly. I've never seen anyone do
Yeah,
it.
I
Now,
figured
I've
you-
seen so many like lame Terran builds where they just like siege me and drop like a couple of Marines, and then if my Zerglings come, the siege tank blows up my units while they're harassing my third.
Right.
Yeah.
Seen that a lot.
Yeah,
but-
seen that a lot too. Saw that when they
I've
were
lost
first
a lot to
testing
that.
the
Let's not talk about that anymore. Anyways, so I'm going straight up to lair, make evolution chamber. It's actually a pretty fast lair, to be honest.
just a few early zealots to harass that third. Right?
Yeah, and of course I lose like half my drones or
Yeah.
something.
What is the proper way to handle this? Because this happens a lot, I'm sure, to everybody.
Well, roaches is the best option, but I wasn't even plan on going down that path, so we just went drones and queens.
Okay.
Probably not the most cost-efficient way either to deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I have Zergling speed, which is ridiculously late, probably this game. Anyways, he scouts my Spire right off the bat.
Oh, do you not get +1?
Melee?
Spire? Yeah.
I don't even think I get +1.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think I'm going to make any more Zerglings than these.
Oh, okay.
This is probably it.
Why don't you just make an overseer, like with this, as soon as your lair is done, to scout?
It's a great question that I really can't answer.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
It's probably a good idea.
You got it overload like right there too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't have an answer to that, so probably should. Didn't though, and yeah.
So,
So
do you feel like?
go ahead.
Okay. So obviously the worst, well, the scariest part about going muta is gateway timings, right?
Right.
So how good of an idea do you have at this point that he's not going to go gate? Well, I guess like 2 minutes ago.
I saw the third base, so I know it's not going to be a gateway timing. And plus, we are really close by, so I can scout. Like, I already see that he had a robotics bay. He's chronoing Blink, so
Yeah.
I already kind of know what I'm going up against.
All right. Why don't we slow it down a little bit here? Or go down to faster.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so now you got the mutas on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting carapace. Cool.
Yep. I think I already have +1 attack, right? No, I don't. I opened carapace.
Yeah.
Oh no. I
Oh
have
no,
two
no, you got
spires.
both going.
There we
at the
go.
same- there you
Hold
go.
on, I have 2 spires. That's right.
Yeah, double.
That's how I roll. This
Yeah,
way,
exactly.
if they go Phoenix, I can actually win the game. Double Spire is actually really strong versus like a Phoenix type play.
Oh, okay.
That's my reasoning behind it. So yeah, I'm pretty much only going to make Muta for the longest of time.
It's just,
game.
is it just mutas and spines, or muta
Pretty much
laying?
Muta spine, make
Yeah.
drones. Yeah, it's pretty much all about getting,
Like
as
40
much
mutas.
gas as possible.
Yeah.
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 Trying to hit that 900 Muta supply.
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
map is kind of stupid too, because like there's no airspace behind like the third and the main, so you can't
Yeah,
actually fly
true.
between.
Yeah,
But mutas are still quite good, so.
Yeah, mutas are pretty good still. But he plays this like ridiculously well. Like he already has High Templars, you know, already up, and that's, in my opinion, that's the best way of playing versus this.
Yeah.
Also, he has his army really positioned pretty well as well. Like he already has stalkers.
Yeah.
But mutas are still pretty
you got
strong.
A pretty good trade there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely got a good trade.
So, what do you think about Lings, like just to, you know, kind of two-prong attack them or counters and that kind of thing?
I mean, there is a style where you can like mutiling, baneling and stuff.
Right.
But and it's probably better versus what he's doing, to be honest. Like if you can stop the third base from going up initially, I feel like you can just play muta the whole time, right? Because there's so much their
behind.
fifth and sixth gas is so delayed.
Right.
But with this case, it would probably been better to play like the muta Ling style. But I felt like I was already with 2 Spires. I just didn't have the gas or the economy to like morph a lot of banelings, which is what you would need, you know, and attack from multiple sides. Because Zerglings aren't going to cut it. I'm going to be so behind in upgrades. Like you can already see, he's 1 armor, 2 attack right now.
Right.
So yeah, I felt kind of like I was committed to this, and I was just going to take a lot of bases, maybe try to base trade later on if he moved out or anything like that. But my muta's already taking a lot of damage from Storm and such.
They're all yellow, man.
Yeah. So just making lots of drones, mutas. Got my 2/2 on the way. I think I'm about to throw down my infestation pit. Yeah, there it goes.
Is the plan to force kind of a base trade scenario, or are you guys...
Well, there's a point to where he's going to have to eventually kill bottom right, and if he doesn't, then I'm going to just be able to go like mass broodlords later on.
Exactly.
Right? So if he doesn't go and kill those bases, then that's going to be the scenario that I aim for. And if he does go and kill those bases, I'm going to base trade or try to counter or something of that nature.
Right. Oh, look at that! Nice little sniping group.
I needed to now. This game's a little old, but as a little I mean like 2 days. But as of yesterday, I decided I'm going to start making an overseer with my mutas and like get the speed so they can keep up, so that I can snipe all these observers. Because like every replay I look where I go mutas, there's observers over the entire map, so they're literally like following me and mimicking me.
Right.
Yeah. So if Protoss does have like High Templar everywhere you go, then I guess you're just focused on spreading your mutas out like into little clumps, so you don't die all at once.
Like if I was gonna go and attack a base that had like high temps at it, that was surrounded by cannons or something, and his whole army was not there, my plan would be more like send 6 mutas and attack the high temps, right? Instead of all of them.
Yeah, trading 6 for like 2 or 3 is really good.
Yeah.
How many does it take to snipe, like to one shot?
I guess it really depends on the upgrades.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah, they're 40/40. They shouldn't take much.
They don't take much. Yeah. I think like 7 probably would snipe it.
Yeah.
7 or 8. You had good upgrades.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you're a little trapped here.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's because of the map again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So lame.
Kind of know where to go.
So just gonna stick to muta here.
I am.
But I see what you mean. He's got to decide, and that's.
And also zealots don't really play any. Like he made all these zealots. Like he has probably 1,400 minerals and zealots. It's not playing a role here at the moment.
Right.
You know. Like they're not. Zealots aren't really that great versus spine crawlers or anything else.
No, they're not. More spines, more spines.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get plenty more. We'll have like... When I play Muta Spine, I have a lot of spines.
Well, I mean, you gotta dump it somewhere, right? So.
Gotta do something.
And in Heart of the Swarm, you can make spines and those like lurker things.
I know, that's gonna be my ultimate strategy, actually. You plant those outside your opponent's base.
We'll see if that makes it into Heart of the Swarm, too.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the whatever,
Have you guys tried the mod map?
No.
No.
They have like a map that has like units that mimic the units in Heart of the Storm that is doing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Have you played it? No? Have you played it, Michael?
Oh yeah, I played it. I was messing around with like the different units, and some of them seem decent. I'm not sure like how accurate they actually are though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so now...
like, it'd be hard to, like, the balance will change and everything. So now he's obviously at my bottom expansions, doing like I said, he'd be killing him off and such.
Right, so you're just
So now
sticking
the
on
whole
him,
goal
though.
is to never let him get past, like, the 3 base, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I got a lucky Overlord placement, so I saw like a giant like probe transfer. So I knew he had a base down there at the bottom
Right.
left.
You know, DTs would be really annoying right now.
They would be. You're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do have an overseer over like my spine crawler wall and such. Now I have Broodlords morphing, so now I'm going into like towards the late game aspect that I wanted to achieve.
It's a lot of spine crawlers.
So what made you decide that, actually?
What, that I wanted Broodlords?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like you could have stayed on... You could have probably still stayed on Muta, quite honestly.
Probably could have, but it'd been like once they get a number of like Archons or High Templars, Mutas can never actually attack.
Right.
And I'm going to eventually have to be able to kill his army or something, because it's getting to the point where, like, for example, he's sitting at this gold, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have something. Like, what if he just put his whole army and just set around that gold base? It would be impossible for me to harass it with mutas or anything. So that's the reason I need a sieging unit, which is where Broodlords kind of come in
I see.
with their range and such.
How does Protoss even deal with this? This looks so good.
Mothership, dude.
It's not a Protoss panel, dude.
Well, I don't know. Let's get in control. In control, how would you do with this? This is ridiculous.
DTs. No.
Yeah. Well, see, this, in control would be like, well, the game would have been over a long time ago. I would have killed him at the 7-minute mark with TPs.
Exactly.
Can you still do this against like double Stargate?
Yeah, the double Spire can be double Stargate if you open with the 3.
Wow.
If you open with the like 6 gas opener. If you do like a 2 base, a 4 gas opener, then double Stargate will kill you every time. But
I see.
you can beat double Stargate if you play this way. Because once you get a mutant number, like, you kill Phoenixes way faster than Phoenixes kill you.
Yeah, like the only problem I have is, you know, like getting enough mutas and beginning off of like 2 base economy.
Yeah, that's the reason you don't do a 2 base economy and try to play against Phoenixes.
Right.
You gotta do it like first with 3.
Right. So your all air army here seems interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a lot of money banks, but it's pretty much because I don't know what I want to build, and I have to be really, you know, like if I spend all my money on Broodlords right now, and then he comes with like mass Void Rays or something, and I stack all my mutas to high temps, then I'm gonna need to. I would be like dead in the water, right, to like a couple of units. So I am banking money, but it's more like
be attacking the spines.
Yeah, I don't think attacking this. I guess he was like, I need to kill him now.
Yeah, I mean, he could be trying to starve you here. That'd probably be.
Well, he lost his zealots.
Yeah, he didn't lose any of the important units, to be honest. Like, he didn't lose any Archons or, I think he lost like 2 Stalkers to the whole thing, but I guess he thought his Zealots might be able to tank long enough. He still is mining a lot, like his 3rd base has a ton of minerals still left at it.
Right.
And he does have a fleet beacon up, which I scout that somehow at some point in this game, but I don't remember when or how.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I mean, it's like, you know, normally when you get the Brood, you always see like Ling Infestors or, you know, little Ling Bane Infestor or even Roach Infestor, but never do I see basically no ground units. That's kind of interesting.
It was pretty much like 20 Zerglings at the beginning of the game, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I prefer airplay versus Protoss for sure. This just happens to be one of the more epic games. Usually they die like a long time ago.
Right.
Usually this scenario never occurs, but he's a trooper. What can I say?
Good old Julian.
Well, one thing is like for this map in particular in this game, the base that you wanted to attack was really close to your spines, so you could kind of just poke out with the Broodlords and stuff. But on a map where the bases are further away, I feel like, would you need Infestors as well to back up your Broodlords? Because you could get a really good blink off, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible that you could get that. But on bigger maps where, like, it's actually much easier to counterattack and stuff. So, like, the Ling style is stronger, I find, on, like, bigger maps where, you know, there's just, no matter where they go, you can go and hit them somewhere else where they're
like
not.
with Tall Dream, though, like, how would you use the Brood Lords? Because you can't really move around.
Oh, I would just try to get to the point where I had enough money where I could have like 37 Brood Lords
okay.
move across the map, and then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that scenario actually does occur quite often.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I find he has a hidden expansion down here, and that's never really a good thing to see, or never something you want to see.
Right.
I do have pretty good upgrades on my air though, 3 attack, 2 armor. But I need an expansion, and I don't really know how to get one at this point.
He's been on 3 base for a while.
Yeah, I've tried expanding to the bottom right a couple more times, but he just keeps killing him. So, and he has so many high temps with so much energy, it's pretty impossible just to be like, oh, I guess I'll just attack, you know.
Yeah, I feel like the high temps really negate the DPS of the mutas, you know, because your mutas can't help your broods at all.
Right.
That's what's scary about that. Yeah, there's the flanking. But you're pretty much keeping him with 3 base. Well, he's not even mining now. Well, he's about to not mine. You guys are pretty much in the same boat, but you've got 1,400 banks. Yeah.
He kills all my broodlords though.
Yeah.
I was pretty